No, look, yellow. It was all yellow. Is that better? Except for the circles in my eyes, like stars, but not. Um, over here. Maybe I should have figured this out first. I'm doing a little test. Oh, that's kind of cool. Wait, bring it back. Bring it back. It's not. I don't know what I'm doing. Talking about paranormal activity that's been happening again. This is a test video, because I've been getting feedback on my computer on the Zoom meetings, which I say I've been getting. It started last night. And then earlier, I just played back my Zoom meeting that I had with some students earlier today. And there was actually a little bit there, not like it was last night. So I'm going to, I don't know, I'm gonna do a little talking here, and then maybe I'll do this video, and if not, actually, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it on here, and then I'll just do a test on my computer that doesn't have anything to do with this. Okay, so I keep looking at my hair. This is my quarantine look, y'all. Getting real close to shaving it off or doing my own haircut again, like that one time when I had an emotional breakdown. It might turn out okay. It did. It turned out way okay last time, but I don't know. Maybe I have to be in that same cray-cray Britney Spears 2000 zone. And the shaving actually has nothing to do with that. That's something completely different. So what happened was this. Hold on, I need to pop my ears. I need to go get antibiotics, I think. Can you hear that? It's like, I pop them and it's like air traveling through here. Fuck, I need a neti pot. I need something. Okay. So, first thing is happening was, okay, for those of you who are watching this that are like new to all of this conversation, like, what the fuck is she talking about ghosts? I'm 29 forever, which is now 42. And like 37 of those years, I have had paranormal activity in my life. Not like the movie Paranormal Activity, but like experiences. And that all stopped almost 3 years ago when my dad passed away. And my assumption, you know what they say about when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. But I think this assumption is pretty legit. Growing up, I found out somewhere along the way that my parents thought I was crazy because I talked about ghosts and ghost stories, and then I was like offended, like, if you legit thought I was crazy, why didn't you try to, oh, there it goes, ooh, circle eyes, why didn't you try to give me help? Let me try it this way. And so, anyway, so, Mom would talk mad shit. Dad, he didn't really say anything, but he would laugh along, so I really honestly don't know what he thought, but I think he is in the same boat, he just didn't want to say it. And so, I feel like when he passed away, it was his way of making up for that, and so he hasn't let any ghosts contact me or, try to disturb my sleep, because I'm nocturnal and don't sleep well, and it got worse and worse over the years. And I'm just trying to find the right light, you guys. Orange over here, nice and pasty over here. That's what I do. I blabber to myself. Quarantine life, watercolor on my arms. Let me get that over to the side. So anyway, yeah, he didn't let other spirits come around, and so for almost 3 years I have not been having experiences, except for 2 nights I saw a ghost kitten. Yes, you heard that right, a ghost kitten. I saw a ghost dog once in one of my photos from Halloween a few years ago, but I've never woken up, I don't think, to a ghost dog, but I woke up to a ghost cat. It was a Maine Coon, which I want so badly. And I guess Dad heard me say that sometime after he passed away because, okay, well, there's a whole story with that too. So he was sticking around and not letting the ghost do anything. And apparently my sister had a nightmare and she called to him in her dream to come help her. And so he left my ear. I don't know how that works, but, and then my mom told me the same time that for the first time she saw him in a dream. And so it just so happens that that was the first night that I woke up, and this was at the last place that I lived. And I opened my eyes and there was a kitten there. He was so fucking cute. And I was like, oh, a kitten. And I was like, oh, that's like a ghost. I guess my dad's okay with me having ghost pets, ghost animals. I don't know. And then I found out later that the other stuff happened with my mom and my sister. And I was like, oh my God, he totally like left me behind, that he left a kitten. So that's cool. And then I saw it the very next night. So I guess my dad wasn't with me that night either. And I was at my BFF, shout out Christy Hayden. I was at her house and I woke up and saw it that night too. And I was like, okay, the ghost kitten's with me. That's pretty sweet. Same kitten, cute as fuck. Little fluffy little thing. So that was a year and a half ago. I don't know, something like that. And nothing has been happening until recently. I started noticing things were, well, I would say misplaced. Okay, I don't know. But reading is driving me a little crazy. A little batty. Look at those roots. Oh, look at that color. Ombre. Accidental ombre. Oh, that's horrendous. Work later. Okay, so, hold on. Okay, so, things that, for instance, like this little hairband here. And we girls, or dudes, some dudes, we lose hairbands. They disappear and don't know where the fuck they go, okay? But I noticed that I would find them in places where I'm like, I know that was not there before. But of course, you're like, it's a hairband, whatever, who knows, And I just blew it off. So that happened. Then the other day, I could not find my dry shampoo. This was like a week ago or something, or 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't find it, and so I had to go into these boxes that I have not unpacked yet. I've been here almost a year, I haven't unpacked them yet. There's reasons for that, but that's besides the point. I found this dry shampoo that's like backup. Like, I don't really like to use it, but I will if I have to. So I used that, and then the very next day, I go in the bathroom and I see the dry shampoo that I normally use right next to the one that I found in the box. And I was like, that shit was not there yesterday because I would have used it. I wouldn't have gone looking for the other one. And not say right, but I mean literally right beside it. Like right beside it. And I was like, that is suspicious for sure. And start questioning myself, like, Then, Friday, almost a week ago, okay, so I've been ordering, like, this ties into the story about me shaving my head, but that's a story I'm not going to tell until this situation I'm dealing with is over, and it'll be hilarious one day, and then I'll talk about it. But anyway, I've been ordering all this shit on Amazon, and not shit, high quality stuff. Some of it is shit. Anyway, these really super cute harem pants, and I also ordered some diatomaceous earth. I think I said that right, diatomaceous earth, and they were supposed to be in that package, but they weren't in that package. And so I'm looking through the other boxes, like maybe there was a mix-up, I got it mixed up, that they did, something happened, and it was nowhere to be found. Like, they are nowhere to be found. And so I wrote an email to the seller explaining the situation, like, I don't want a refund, I just want to get the pants. And they wrote back and said, well, it's a thing with Amazon, so all I can do is refund you. And they did. They were really nice about it, and they gave me a refund. This was like 2 days. This was a Sunday. So then on Monday, I'm clearing out my recycling, all of the things that I was going to take to school to use on our art car. Um, I found people online, because I didn't want to put it in the recycling. I'm like, I've been saving this stuff for a purpose. Any artists out there who need glass, paper, or not paper, glass, aluminum, plastic. And so I was sorting through this stuff to give it away. And went over to those boxes to find the right size for what I needed. And guess what the fuck I found in that box? Anybody? Bueller? It was those fucking harem pants that were not there the 3 or 4 times that I went through every single box over there. And so at that moment, I stood up and I just kind of looked around like, Dad, did you do that? Are you here? Are you playing games with me? Because I can't imagine that it would be some other random ghost. Like, he's gonna come in and be a jokester, right? So anyway, I didn't get an answer, or if I did, I didn't hear it. So I then was like, free bits. And then I was like, no, I can't. My conscience will not let me do that. So I contacted the seller again, and I was like, okay, I feel so stupid, but I found the pants, and I did not go into the story about that. But I contacted them, and then I said, go ahead and recharge my card because I have them. And they wrote back that it was a girl, and she said she couldn't do it. So just go ahead and enjoy them as a gift. And she said something really sweet, like, wear them in happiness and health or something. It's like hippie type stuff. And I thought that was adorable. So I pretty much immediately ordered something else just because I thought that was awesome. And they were just so nice about it, So I was like, hey, hook up. Hey, thanks, Dad. So at this point, I'm starting to think he's been playing jokes on me. Also, like yesterday, twice, once earlier today, I thought I saw orbs shooting up out of the corners of my eyes, but it's like, well, that could be. My whole apartment is windows, for the most part. So like, there's a lot of light in here. I just figured it was something else. I don't know. So, and then my cat being weird, like, cats do a lot of weird stuff, but my cat she's a cat, but she's also really dog-like. Like, we hang out, and she's much more, like, sociable and needy than cats really are. And lately, she hasn't been staying in my room, and I felt that was really weird because normally she does. She sleeps beside me. But she's been staying in the other room, and also, I haven't seen that little. Well, we're gonna get there. There are plenty of times that I woke up. My neighbors that weren't here the first few months I was here, they're here now. And they had a cat who passed away, like, right when they came back. But I don't know if it was before that or after, but there are many times that I woke up thinking that Rosa was, like, on one side of me. But I looked and she wasn't, and she was actually on the other side of me. So, like, I had a real cat and a ghost cat laying next to me. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. But I don't think that was the kitten because it had more weight to it. It wasn't like, it didn't have weight like a tiny little kitten size. It had more like full grown cat. So I think that was something different. Maybe it was the neighbor's cat or just some neighborhood cat. I don't know. But anyway, so she's just been acting like kind of strange off and on, and like she keeps wanting to go out the apartment and like look around and search like she's looking for something. So there's that. My ears, I need to pop again. Okay. So I woke up a couple of nights ago. This has happened twice now. I woke up, I don't know if you could hear that or not. I just did it again. I don't know if this happens to other people who don't have paranormal stuff. This is not, I don't take Ambien anymore, so it's not a hallucination from Ambien. I leave PMs, and that stuff doesn't make me hallucinate, but sometimes I'll wake up and everything that I look at is real trippy. It's like moving kind of in like this weird frequency, and depending on how tired I am, like I usually am just like, it's just so much to process that I'm just like, okay, just go to sleep and pretend like I'm not seeing that, but it's allergies, not the Rona. Okay, it's allergies. Because always my life is full of allergies. I'm the allergy queen. Whatever that is. Okay, this video is 15 minutes already. So that's cool. Just hanging out. I don't have anything better to do anyway. You might be essential. You might be out there working, but these are important videos. So I woke up and I looked ahead of me, and there was this pile of clothes that I need to bag up, and it's just kind of getting taller and taller. And I woke up, and sitting on that stack of clothes was the cute little fucking baby Maine Coon kitty. And it was all happy, like I woke up, like, hey, you woke up. But so this is the first time I've experienced this. Well, it's the second time because it happened twice. And I thought the first time it was a dream, but since it happened again, I was like, okay, that's definitely not a dream. It was grooming, like instead of another little kitten, it was grooming a squirrel, okay? I've heard of ghost cats and dogs. I've never in my life heard of a ghost squirrel, but there was one in my dream. Now, we have squirrels that live on the outside. Well, they live obviously on the outside, but they come around the ledge of my windows. And so I was like, oh gosh, I wonder if it was one that recently lived here, but it passed away because some asshole probably did something. I don't know. But a kitten, a ghost kitten, was grooming, like licking and messing with its head and fluffing it up, a squirrel. So that's new. And I watched it for a while, and I was just like, because when I first woke up, everything was doing that weird, trippy, I'm in some other realm kind of look to it, where everything's just moving, and if you've, from what I understand, hallucinogenics make your eyes do that. It was a filter that people were using a lot on Facebook, and it had that like kind of thing. It's like that, but more in fast motion, okay? And so I was noticing that first, but then something caught my attention, and it was the kitten grooming the squirrel, and I watched that shit for a while because I was just like in disbelief. Like, not only is it, oh shit, that's that cute kitten, but why is a cute kitten grooming a squirrel? And they were just so, I don't know, like the squirrel maybe was like not doing so well, but the kitten was very happy that I was awake. And I was like, hey, it just perked up like that. But it had a mission, which was to groom the squirrel. And I even looked away, like to kind of look around and be like, oh, is this real life? And I looked back and it was still there, which normally you look away and things fade away. And it was still there for a good few seconds. And then eventually it did fade off and go away. So, yeah, that happened. So I called my mom today because I knew that she recently went to visit my dad's grave. I've only been out there a couple times. I mean, it's over there closer to where she lives. It's not over here, but I don't hardly go out that way. And usually when I do, it's in the middle of the night when I'm driving back and forth. So I don't stop at the gravesite. But it's not a big deal to me because I know I can just talk to my dad at any time. For the longest he was here, keeping guard, so I'd just talk to him when I want to talk to him. I don't feel like I have to go over there and sit there and do that. So I called her and I said, did you go visit Dad? And she said, yeah, I went on Easter. And I said, did you talk to him about me? Like, did you specifically tell him to come here and whatever? And she was like, I just said, I'm sure I said something. And I was like, okay, but did you tell him to come? And she was like, okay, yeah, I did. I told him, how you're doing better, finally. And I was like, hey, thanks for throwing in that finally, I was like, but I'm pretty sure he knew that already. And I told him, to come and make sure to keep the other bad spirits away because, you need to get your sleep before laying in. I suspect she's told him told him some other things. And that's just what she was telling me. I don't know if I mentioned to her that it trips me out that I hadn't seen my dad yet. Like it's been almost 3 years. I'm paranormally inclined. Like, how is it that I haven't seen him, And even in my dreams, I think I did tell her that. So even in my dreams, it's not like we're really it's not, I don't realize it's weird and out of place until I wake up and it some time goes by and I'm like, oh, Dad was in that dream. But it was never, only like once did it feel like an actual conversation where he was sitting next to me talking to me. And that still doesn't make sense, but that's a story for another time. If one of you wants to remind me, I think I'm going to make if things like this keep going on, I'm going to start just like a series of, instead of typing it up, just doing videos and talking about it, because it's easier than repeating it over and over, and it's less work because I don't have to type. You see how wordy I am, and I get off track real easily, so imagine typing that and then editing, because I get real like anal about that. So where was I at? I'm gonna keep the videos going. Yeah. I think she probably told him something like, go visit your daughter and maybe make yourself known, let her know you're there because she's sad. I think that's what really happened, and she just didn't want to tell me that. And I'm just right, because I'm right all the time, so I know I'm right. Y'all know, I'm right all the time, right? Yeah. So I think that's what happened, and he's been like steadily, and I said, but Mom, he's not here like keeping the ghosts away. He's over here playing jokes on me. He's being a jokester. And I told her about the things that have been going on, and she started laughing. And then I was telling her about this paranormal group that I belong to online, and we talk about different stories. And I even was telling a girl about, because she had a similar story about things disappearing and coming over, and I was telling her about my hair on pants, and she was like, oh, your dad sounds funny. Like, at least he approves of your spending. And I was like, no, I don't think he does. I don't think that was the message. It was probably like, stop your spending. Like, you need to calm down, But I was like, he was funny, he's a funny guy. So maybe that's his way of letting me know, hey, I'm here, and, doing stuff, but just still not wanting to like quite freak me out. But last night I was recording a podcast with Edna, which, any of you who have stories about sex, love, psycho, sex, love, psycho, forgive me, Edna, sex, psycho, love, sex, psycho, any of those topics, she's doing a podcast with audio, and she needs more stories, but especially from dudes. So dudes who have good stories that fall in line of those categories. She would like to record with you, so holla. But anyway, we were doing that on Zoom, and I was getting crazy feedback, which I never get. I be zooming. I'm zooming, y'all. We be zooming in school, zooming this way, zooming that way, 2 times a day, okay? Never have gotten feedback, ever, like that. And so I tried to put in my headphones, and that didn't work either. It was still there, and it was uncomfortable for me. So we just kept recording. She's got to edit it, and maybe she'll hear some stuff. I kind of would like a copy of the feedback type stuff, so that way I can send it to someone who can decipher and see if I can hear things, because part of it sounded like male coughs. And my dad, before he passed away, he had been dealing with pneumonia for a good while. And so he was coughing and coughing all the time. And lately, I've been waking up at like 5 in the morning. I've been waking up at like 5 in the morning and just coughing up a storm. Normally, if I wake up before my time, it's because I have to pee. But I was just coughing and coughing and coughing. And normally I do when I wake up, because my allergies, I'm getting it all out. But it was like the scary cough that everybody's worried about right now, like in my sleep. And then finally, I've been spraying like throat number down my throat to get that sensation to go away so I could fall back asleep. And so that was happening. And I kind of started thinking, like, is it kind of a dad thing? Like, the day that I took him to the hospital the last week he was alive, I was at my sister's house sitting, and the ex was with me, and we drove over to my mom and dad's house to pick him up. I was just supposed to take him to a regular breathing treatment, and he was like draped over his chair, looking barely alive. And so I'm wondering if that started at like 5 in the morning, and that's when it really started. We got there, I don't know, it was probably like 7 or something. I don't know what time, but it was not good. And I knew that my dad wanted to die at home. He didn't want to die at the hospital, but making the calls. They want me to rush him there, and so he spent his last week there, and that part is sucky, and I do actually struggle with that. And then also with the stuff that was going on in my personal life with the person that was with me, he was a great help because he had to physically pick my dad up and pick him up and carry him to the truck, which was no easy feat. Like if I had been there by myself, I don't know how I would have had to call an ambulance and hope they got, that kind of thing. I wouldn't have been able to do it. But there was also just a lot of bad stuff going on, and my dad, once he started like that crossover, it was Monday. We took him on a Friday. It was Monday, and he kind of flipped. And he went from being super lovey-dovey to happy to see everyone to, I'm out to get him, and we're out to conspire to take his money, and and how could I do this to him? And it was really crazy and insane, and my heart was broken. And so I was there for 4 days. At night, it was night. We took turns being there, my sister and my mom and me, and take turns being there. And I was there overnight because I'm awake at night. But my ex was there too, and we were kind of just sitting on the couch on our phones, and my dad is laying down, kind of in and out of consciousness. But it was so awkward, and I hate that. It breaks my heart because I should have been there, like, just holding his hand, that week. But it was messed up. So anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, that hair hole. I don't want to do that. But I just wonder if it started at 5, because those few days that I would wake up at 5 every time and just start coughing, hacking. I'm just wondering if that was the intro. So this has been a damn near 30-minute talkathon. I don't know if I talked in circles. I got off track. It happens, but if things do keep happening, I suspect they will. I don't know. But if they do keep happening, then I will make more videos and post those rather than typing up the stuff. My cat's looking at me like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, Mama. She is asleep. She's so sweet. Check in, mental health, how everybody's doing. As I'm used to being alone, it's not that strange for me. But it is hard because I get off track at home and I get deep in my thoughts. And my cat is like therapy. She's been amazing. I'm so happy to have her. She found her way into my life, and best thing to come out of my last living situation where I lived. By far, best thing. I feel like that's really the whole purpose of me being there, was to have that little lady come into my life. So anyway, that's my updates for now. Oh, I forgot the last part of it. When I went to bed last night, I went through the house and turned off all the lights and walking through, because that's what I do. And when I woke up, my light where I'm at right now, that light right there, was on. And I know damn well it's a dimmer switch, but I know I turned that shit off. Like, I know I did. So that was a nice little extra something. Maybe he turned it on thinking I would get up earlier than I did when it was still dark, but I didn't. But anyway, that's the last thing that happened. Maybe there's sound in this video that I haven't heard, and I will on playback. Maybe not. Maybe it's just going to show up on my computer, because it's not as fancy as this phone. But you would think maybe with the fancier pick, I don't know these things. But I'm curious to see how things are going to go, and I will update you for those of you that like hearing these kind of stories. Thank you for listening. Anybody who is watching this that's a fucking hater and wants to talk shit, and oh, you're crazy, blah, 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 I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. If that's your opinion, you can fuck off with all of it. This is strictly for people who are into these stories. And with that, yeah, I guess I will talk to y'all later. Let me know what you think. All right, bye.